Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Rob Alasabas here with the TubeBuddy team. Welcome to another episode of the Creators Corner. Really excited to have all of you here. If you're watching live, say hello in the chat so we know that you're here. Let us know where you're from. And if you're watching this on the replay, by all means, please say hello as well. If you have any questions, you're part of the conversation, leave your questions in the chat and we will make sure we get those answered for you. So got a really exciting show today. We're going to be getting real. We're going to talk about consistency and motivation on YouTube. As we all know, YouTube is a long game. It's not something that happens overnight, success here on YouTube. And it does take a while. So you do have to stay motivated. You need to be consistent. And we've got a really awesome guest today, Catherine Perry, who's going to be joining us in just a second. And so as I bring her on here, again, like I said, if you guys have any questions, please drop them in the chat. Say hello. This is a conversation that includes all of you. So I do see Adrian here. I see Terrence, Mr. Alas versus Cancer, Mindful Emergence. Awesome to see you here. Awesome. So I'm going to bring Catherine on now. Hey, Catherine, how's it going?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing good. Excited to have you here. So before we jump into questions, why don't you say hello, introduce yourself, who you are, what you do to everybody out there in TubeBuddy land.
Hi, everyone. If you're popping on, my name is Catherine Perry. I am on YouTube and I help you grow your small YouTube channel. I help you understand the power of video. I'm based out of Ontario, Canada, and yeah, I just love everything YouTube. I'm obsessed with it. So I'm excited to do this today because I just want to help you understand how to be consistent and stay motivated on YouTube.
Awesome. Sounds good. Okay. Well, I really want to jump into it because I want to make sure we get this, the time that we have together and get all these questions answered for you. So, we were talking before, there is always a right way and a wrong way to do anything in life. And so when it comes to YouTube, what is the wrong way to grow your channel?
Okay. So there are lots of ways that you could possibly maybe think that it's right, but it's not actually helping you. Mm-hmm. So whenever it comes to YouTube, a lot of people think of small YouTubers, we just jump into it. We kind of go and think, oh, we're going to get all these subscribers coming in, people viewing our channel. And I think the first thing that ultimately that we think, it's our mindset. First of all, we think that we're just going to get, a whole bunch of subscribers, a whole bunch of people watching our videos. Yep. And that's not really how it works. And I think that's the first thing that we do to think we're going to grow our channel, everything's going to happen. And then the second way that I always, I see this a ton, and that's sub for sub. And YouTube has clearly stated that that's not good. You're not allowed to do that. And I have talked about it in the past on my channel, how it can actually hurt you and your channel, but also hurt, you could get banned from YouTube, right? And so I think a lot of the times whenever people do sub for sub, you get that numbers, you get the views, and you think you're going to get the views, but it's just the number of subscribers. That's not going to help you, because whenever you want to be monetized, you need to have the subscribers. That's great, but you also need to have the watch time hours. And if you're not getting that, you're not growing your channel properly. And also, it's not good for engagement. You're not going to get a high engagement rate on your channel because you have the subscribers, and then brands and such will go onto your channel and be like, well, they've got lots of subscribers, but there's no engagement here. So I think that's the major one right there, is the fact that, doing sub for sub, and it's just not going to help you in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely. Sub for sub. So for those of you that don't know what sub for sub is, there's a bit of an underworld of Facebook groups and different communities that are just strictly for sub. Or sometimes they're being creative with some of these groups now, Catherine. It's like, hey, let me see your YouTube channel. Love to support you. Yeah. And then they slide in with hey, come to my channel as well. And so basically it's like, hey, you watch my channel or you subscribe to my channel, I subscribe to yours. And really, they're not your target audience. It's just a vanity number. Your subscribers are growing, but your views aren't really going up either.
Right, that's it. And that's the major thing. So when I go to channels and I want to potentially collaborate with them, because when I was first starting out, I wanted to do collaborations and stuff. And I would go to channels and be like, well, there's no engagement here. They have high subscriber count, but there's not a lot of views, and so the engagement's not good at all. So then I was like, well, no, I would never interact with this channel. There would be nothing for me. I just didn't feel connected in any way. So I think that's the biggest one. When people come to your channel and that they actually want to subscribe to your channel and they're going to be a true fan, and they see that, they may not actually subscribe because they're like, okay, well, this channel is full of just, you know, spam and not worth my time, right? They're going to find another channel that's going to be more exciting to them, or waiting for them to engage and grow their channel too, right?
Yeah, exactly. So the engagement really does matter. And we've got a really good question here from Terrence inside the lab, PC Tech. Catherine, maybe you can help us out here. Does watch time hours reset, or did they roll over?
So when it comes to watch time hours, this is so hard to explain to everybody. Like every time I explain it, it kind of comes across like it's not, you know. So when it comes to watch time hours, it goes from so for example, July 1st to July 1st. Anything in that time frame, that's where the watch hours is going to be counted. So then when it comes to July 2nd, it goes to July 2nd. So anything within that time frame. So it just keeps going like that. Anything within the time frame between those 365 days is what that counts. So it's not going to like restart. It's just going to count from what's between the time frames. It's hard to explain.
It makes sense. Really, okay, it just kind of like it slides, right? It slides. Yeah. So it slides. So hopefully that makes sense there, Terrence. Let us know if you have any follow-up questions there. Awesome. There's another good question here from Milton, Mr. Alas versus Cancer, but I'm going to save this one because we are going to get into motivation and consistency in just a little bit here. So I see here is Project Girl Boss. You know, Catherine's making some excellent points. Yes, Adrian, we're talking about, he says, yeah, you better call that out when it comes to sub for sub. Thanks, Adrian. Good to see you here as well. Awesome. We got Amber here. Hi, everyone. I'm new to the YouTube creator and with a feel-good original music channel. Nice to meet you. That's awesome. Welcome. Welcome, Amber. Yeah, awesome. Let us know, by the way, if you guys have, let us know what your channel is about. So whether you're watching this on LinkedIn or YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, let us know in the chat what your content and your channel is about, okay? Awesome. Okay, I've got another question here for you. We're going to talk about consistency here. So what, you know, when someone tells you consistency on YouTube, what comes to mind? What does that mean to you, Catherine?
So for me, instantly, I think about, like, are you uploading consistently? Not necessarily do you have to upload, you know, on a certain day every single week, but at least when I go to a channel and notice I see at least one video a week, I see that you're being consistent. It doesn't have to mean like you have to do 2, 3, 10 videos a week. It's just about you taking the time out of your week and actually uploading for your audience and showing up. That is the first thing that comes to my mind when consistency. I think that's the biggest thing. And that's how you're going to grow your channel, is being consistent on YouTube, because you're showing up. You're almost saying to your audience that, yeah, you're important to me, right? Definitely in the beginning, that's the most important thing. And I've been on YouTube for 4 or 5 years now, and I just really never narrowed down my channel until this past like 4 or 5 months. And I've done 3 videos a week for the past 5 months, I believe it is, 4 or 5 months-ish. And I've stuck to that. Only took 1 week off because my kids were sick or whatever, but I was consistent. I stuck to it. And I've seen my channel grow and take off, right? In the sense of like I'm building a relationship, I'm connecting with my audience and really engaging with them. I even go live twice a week to really connect even more with them. And it's all about being consistent. Now we will talk about like how I, you know, am more like how I be consistent on YouTube and show up. But I also think with consistency, it comes down to your overall brand feel. Like that's the next thing that I would say is, are you consistent overall? Is your channel connecting all together? So whenever someone goes to your channel, is everything flowing? Does everything feel like it's got a place? You know what I mean? So like it's also comes down to your branding and the connection. So as you can see on my YouTube channel, there's, you know, I've changed my thumbnails over the past months just to test. I'm doing some tests and such. But in the beginning, I was like orange and yellow, and I really stuck to that. Just I wanted to brighten, make it. That's how I felt. I felt really connected to those colors. And that's the way I was going with that. And then I decided to change it up because I wanted to test some things out just to help my audience. But overall, you need to be consistent. And on my channel, I actually have a Pro Tuber series where I dive into bigger YouTubers and just like show you how they're growing. So there's a few pro tubers on there. And if you go to the Pro Tuber series playlist, you'll see like a whole bunch of different people, you know, like there's Annie's channel, there's, you know, Kelly Stamps, Julia K. Chris, all of them have a kind of a brand and overall consistency. And some are, you just have to have an overall consistency on your channel as well. And I think that's another main point when it comes to consistency.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love the branding. I think that's important. No one really talks about that. I mean, well, obviously, you mentioned that you upload three times a week, and then also you do live streams a couple times a week. So you're almost on YouTube like almost daily during, at least 5 times a week. So that's very consistent. That's very consistent. We'll talk about how you do that in just a second. But yeah, with branding. So branding means like you have like, again, I'm just going to share your channel again, but you have, consistent thumbnails and, colors and, things like that. But, when people come across your video, they know they're starting to recognize, hey, this is a Catherine video, right? This is her thumbnail. It's got the play button and stuff like that, So that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so let's talk about that because there's some questions here. I want to dive into these. But what are some of your systems to stay consistent on YouTube?
Okay, so when it comes to being consistent is different for everybody. Like how to be consistent. It really comes down to you sitting down and knowing your goals. For me, before I started my channel, really focusing down and narrowing down my channel, I said to myself, I need to write out my goals because otherwise I'm just no purpose. There's nothing. I'm going into it without any ideas. So I needed to sit down, first of all, and write out my goals for my channel and actually write out what I was going to do each month to get to those goals. So I had to take action, right? And then the next thing that I do is every night before I go to bed, I always write out a list of things that are super important that I need to get done tomorrow. I have this thing in my head. If I don't get it done, I just, it has to be done. Everybody's different. But for me, if it's not done or stroked off that list, I'll have to do it before the end of the day. And I think that's more so help me focus and figure out what I need to do for each day. Because I know for me, myself, I just get all confused. And if, something crazy happens one day, I just get stressed out. So I need to have a written list out every night before I go to bed. And then the next day, I just stroke it off as I do it. So this morning, I've already edited a video. I went live this morning as well on my channel. So I stroke both those off my list. It's almost like an action. You're doing it. So it just kind of keeps you motivated throughout the day. So those two things are really important. And then, just knowing your weekly goals and all that jazz. So, yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I think one of the things, and I'm going to share it here, is that your Instagram stories are awesome. I think it's almost like, maybe you don't know this, but I feel like it's for me, when I share things on Instagram stories, it's almost like a productivity tip because you're like almost accountable, like, hey, this is what I'm up to today. This is what I'm doing, and kind of documenting that. But, again, everyone go check out Catherine's YouTube channel, her Instagram page. Amazing, good content, really helpful. And you share a lot of value in the stories as well. So go check that out. All right. Awesome. Catherine, if you're okay with it, I'm going to dive into some of these questions. Some really good questions here coming in from everyone. A lot of the community is here as well. So let me see here. I'm just going to scroll up, guys. So just give me 2 seconds. All right. So we got first question here from Mr. Last versus Cancer. We all have ups and downs in life, even on YouTube. So what do you do when you're going through a drought in ideas for new content or simply not having enough motivation? Really good question, Milton. Thanks for sharing that one.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things there that I want. When it comes to ups and downs in life, you're going to have them. I know I've had quite a few, and everybody has gone through, I would say, downs in the past 6 months. To be totally honest, it's been a crazy few months. So when it comes to life going up and down, you have to almost have a process in your head all ready to go. Like whenever there's a down moment or whenever you're struggling, you need to be able to go just do something or go to something to actually motivate yourself. So for me, it's like, if I know I'm not doing great that day, I'll, watch a couple of YouTube videos that really inspire me or YouTubers that inspire me. or I'll listen to a podcast. Sometimes in the morning, I'll listen to a podcast before my day's even started. So I'll wake up at 6:30, but I'll lay in bed and listen to a podcast, because not everybody wants to get up. You know, there's days where you just don't want to get up. So just having, you know, things where you can go to and do, or people to talk to start motivating you. And I think it also comes back to your goals. If you started writing out your goals for each year or whenever you want to start your channel, I would say go to that, and it's going to motivate you. Because I have things that I really want to do in life. And I want, my major goal is for my husband to not be working. And that's my major goal. And so I have that in my head. I work hard to make sure like I show up on YouTube because of my audience as well. Like that's another big thing. Like I have an audience that relies on me, and you know, right? So I have those in my mind. So I show up. Because if I just randomly stop, it's going to be hard for people to trust me again in that sense. But when it comes to life, it's going to happen. I think it's more so you have to be able to go to things or do things that will, you know, maybe give you that little push to get past that, you know, and everything that we go through is different. So there's different processes that you need to go through to do things like that. And when it comes to like a drought in ideas, I actually have a couple of videos on my channel because there's a few people that had asked me this similar question about ideas and where do you find topics for your YouTube channels, because everybody has different niches. And I just did a video on this about how to never run out of ideas. And it's basically, you could go, there's many places that you can go to get ideas to spark your, your mind. And I think the major one that I like to do is go to YouTube and actually watch a few videos and get ideas from that. There's also your audience. They'll give you ideas too. And then there's Google search. Not many people actually go to Google and search, ideas. So I would just go on Google and type in a broad term and go for it. And from there, I get a whole bunch of ideas. And it's interesting because I actually get some ideas that nobody ever thinks about, right? So those are a few tips there.
So good. So good. So yeah, I like the first part. You have a really strong, clear why, like why are you doing this, which is a good thing to like come back to when you do have like, you kind of lose motivation. You kind of like, okay, well, here's the bigger picture. This is why I'm doing this, and kind of helps you up above that. And I think community, I think you mentioned that as well. So I think having a community around you really helps you. So Mr. Alas versus Cancer, I think that's a really good thing. Find yourself a community of other creators, that kind of understand your world, because it's very, very unlikely that you'll have somebody in real life that kind of understands, what you're doing on YouTube and videos. Yeah. So, but I love that. And all those ideas for coming up with great ideas. I think that's really good. Awesome. Okay. So, Alex Wadworth, good to see you here, man. Why are you guys not on YouTube? This is a good question. We are. It's on my personal YouTube channel right now. Stay tuned though. You may be starting to see this on a TubeBuddy channel. So yeah, but stay tuned. But yeah, thanks, Alex. Thanks for hanging out here. All right. Okay. Question from Project Girl Boss. Question. What was the turning point in her channel that helped her really find her voice? I know she has mentioned in the past that she had tried different things. So yeah, really good question. I think all of us on YouTube at some point have tried a number of different things and made some pivots and stuff. So what was the turning point for you to focus on this particular content now?
Yeah, so I've mentioned on my channel and a few other places that I've been on YouTube I've been on YouTube for probably 10, 12 years, but really didn't start a channel or anything like that until about 4 or 5 years ago. And when it comes to this specific content that I decided to do now, it was because I have watched YouTube over the past few years, and I've been on social media for a certain amount of years too. And I just enjoyed YouTube in general so much. And over the years, I've been helping people with channels here and there, just kind of giving them tips and advice. And I was like, this is something that I could do. I really want to narrow it down more. The other thing that really helped me sway to this area was actually on my channel. I tested out a few video ideas, a few topics, a few niches or whatnot. And this is the actual niche that people were liking more so. So I had a few videos on my channel, and I watched my analytics, and I kind of said, well, this is kind of the direction I want to go. I enjoy it. I'm passionate about it. And that's pretty much how it happened. Like I noticed a trend on my channel and I looked at my analytics. And so that's how it kind of went.
Awesome. There it is. Really good. Okay, we've got another question here from Melody Johnson from Facebook. How can I get more engagement with my audience? I don't have too many people that respond to the videos that I put out. So I think this could be depending on your depending on the situation. A, do you have people that are finding your videos and watching your videos? And if so, then but you're not getting engagement. So maybe let us know, Melody. But your thoughts on that, Catherine? I'm sure you've had to address this before.
Yeah. So before my, like, this is the hard one. When you first start your channel, you don't get a huge amount of engagement because you're a smaller channel and people are still getting to know you. But when it comes to smaller channels, you really need to find your small knit community. And I've always mentioned this on my channel as well. And how you do that is by actually being found in search. So for topics that are, you're focusing on, and this is where you need to narrow down in the beginning to really find your audience. And so that's where I recommend people using TubeBuddy and keywords and all that jazz to really find the community so that you can start getting more engagement. So if you're finding your community through the videos, they'll engage more. And, asking people in the videos to like an insightful question. I always recommend asking an insightful question so they can actually answer. Sometimes people will just randomly say, oh, comment below an emoji. And like, that's not helpful or like some channels can do that great, but the majority of channels you'll have to actually ask them a question in order to get a response and make sure it pertains to the video itself. And I do this on every video, and that's how I connect with my audience too. And I think another way that I really recommend is starting to I do lives twice a week, and I don't keep them up on my channel. It's mostly because I'm trying to get to know my audience. And I think you need to start really connecting with your audience on a different level. And so lives help you do that. You can go on live and answer questions and get to know your audience a little bit better. And I know a lot of my audience will come on there and really connect with me. And that's why they engage in my videos too. I reply to them on my videos. Like I spend 30 minutes after my video and reply to them. And then throughout the day, I'll be replying to comments. So they know that, yeah, she's actually going to answer my questions, and it's not going to be taking days for her to answer, right? So that's what I would do.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, I think just the simple thing of replying to comments is such a big thing on YouTube. I see so many channels, small and large, that are not replying to comments. And I think when people see that you're replying to comments, then they feel like, okay, well, I'll comment because it looks like she's a creator or he's a creator that actually engages with their audience. So just sort of like letting people know that that's what happens on your channel. That's what to expect. So that's awesome. Really good. I love the live streams too, Catherine. I catch your live streams and they're just like, you're just answering questions and connecting with your audience.
Yeah, that's it. Getting to know them.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Okay, we've got another question here from Amber Crowley from YouTube Live. What is the optimal length of videos? $1 million question.
I know, right?
Yes.
It comes down to more so when it comes to lengths of videos, there's no perfect number. It comes down to the content that's within the video. I do suggest, always recommend doing longer videos because then that's going to help your overall watch time. But you have to be careful with longer videos because if the content is not good or it's boring, then people aren't going to watch to the end anyways. So there's no optimal length of video. It's more so what content that you're sharing within the video that's actually going to keep the audience watching and keep them interested in being part of your channel.
Yeah, that's it. That's how I would answer that as well. It's not about how long the video is, it's how long can you keep someone's attention. So I always tell people, don't try to make a 2-minute video, like something that you could have created in 2 minutes and answered in 2 minutes into a 10-minute video, because then people won't watch. But yeah, perfect answer. Hopefully that helps you there, Amber. Also want to say what's up to Paul, SEO Video Show. Good to see you here, man. Nice to see you. I think I'm gonna be joining Paul very soon on a live stream. Awesome. Project Girl Boss says her channel is about helping small YouTubers grow as well. Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. There was a really good question here that I saw. Now I lost it. Sorry. I'm trying to come back here. Okay, here it is from Alan. He's wondering, do you go back and change old thumbnails on low performing videos, or do you or to match new branding?
Okay, so let's start with the first part. So with old videos and they're not performing that well, I will go back, and I actually use the A/B testing in TubeBuddy. Yep. It's been helpful to me because I've been able to see which videos that I can do a little bit better on. But before then, I would just try and, so if the thumbnail's not doing great, you're not getting the click-through rate, I would definitely think about changing it if it's on an older video, because then it's not doing well. So it's just sitting there and you're not getting views, right? And then when it comes to matching with new branding, I have this rule of thumb that anything that's older than 6 months, I just leave with my previous branding, because, or even for, like, I just don't like to change it up too much. That's where branding, you have to make sure like you don't change it that often that it's going to like confuse your audience. But if you're changing and it's been a while, I would say anything no longer than 6 months, because, or even 4 months, just because you don't want to change it around too much. And then you're changing thumbnails that are doing well. You risk not, lowering those. So I would just keep, with the thumbnails that you have, unless you really want to. I don't know if that helps, but to me, I don't like to mess with things too much on my channel. Especially if the videos are doing well, don't change the thumbnails. Do not change them if they're doing well, because you don't want to risk like losing all of the momentum there, especially if you're getting the click-through rate. But be mindful, like, just if you want to start changing it, go for it. I didn't go back and change all mine. I just left it as is to show people that, there's a process with my channel, and that's how it goes. Like, even with my older videos, I don't delete my older videos because there's a process. A person goes through a process, a journey, and I like to see that journey. Same with, like, for example, Zoella. Zoella is like the OG of YouTube and vlogging, and a lot of her videos I go back to and watch. Now, her thumbnails are not changed. She hasn't changed them up. She's kept them the old thumbnails. I think that's good because you see the process of how a YouTuber, goes, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. If you do want to change thumbnails, like you said, Catherine, I would say do the split testing first, and only on either a new video if you're trying to figure out your branding, and also for underperforming videos, like videos that are just like they're just done, like they're dead, like they're not getting any more views or search traffic. Then maybe think about trying to revive them with a different thumbnail. But yeah, don't touch good performing thumbnails and videos. Just leave them as it is. Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Okay, Dole Whip Dad, Jeff Bates, good to see you here. Okay, he's got this is a hard question actually. What would you consider a small channel? And he won't tell Cody Warner, who's hashtag no small creator. What's your thoughts on this? Small creator, big creator. Is it a number? Is it a mindset? Like, what is this?
It's, I love Cody's mindset on no small creator. I love Cody's mindset on that because there really isn't a small creator out there. It's just about, everybody sees it. It's vanity metrics when it comes down to it, right? You have the small subscriber count or the small views. And I got a comment the other day and I was like, I did a video on how to get more views or something like, why your channel is not getting views, right? And someone commented, well, you're not getting views. And I'm like, yes, I am. I'm getting I actually replied. I'm like, yes, I am. I'm getting the comments. I'm getting the views that count because people that are on my channel are there for a purpose and they're getting the help they need. And they comment and they let me know and they engage with me. I don't need 1 million, like it would be awesome to have 1 million views, but I don't need 1 million views to, have a relationship with my audience, right? Yeah. Hopefully that makes sense. And I think it's all about your mindset on how you perceive it, because when it's a small channel, like we're small YouTubers, yes, I guess it's in the title, small YouTubers, but it's really, it comes down to your mindset on it.
Yeah, exactly. And I speak to a lot of YouTubers and, even YouTubers that have 30, 40, 50,000 subscribers still consider themselves small creators. It depends who you're looking at, right? If you're looking at, Mr. Beast, like you have 100,000 subscribers, you're like a tiny drop, right? So, I think it's more of a mindset. I mean, I don't really have a number either, Dole Whip Dad, but I do I've always liked underdogs. And I think I will always, even if I get to I get a silver play button or something, I'll still probably think of myself as a small creator.
Right.
Inside, maybe outside, I'll say differently, but inside, I like to be that, because then I think if you start thinking that you're not, you're not innovating, you're not, I think it's like the same in my world where it's like startups versus, companies that get funded and things like that. Like, are you still a startup? Still scrappy and like trying to innovate and figure things out. And, but yeah, really good question. Really good conversation. I think that's a whole show I think that we can do for sure. Awesome. Okay. So people are wondering about, the fact that you do live streams and you take them down, like you make them unlisted. So some people do leave them, like Terrence. He leaves them to retain the watch time hours. That's important too. But what's your sort of thoughts behind taking them down? Is it the format of the live streams that you're doing? It's not for replay? Yeah.
So when it comes to my live streams, it's just to get to know my audience. It's not necessarily to, get them. I find I've actually tested this out in the past. So I will give you my opinion on it. So I've left my live streams up in the past, and the overall retention doesn't do well when I leave up like it's just a Q&A live stream that I do twice a week. And it's just to get to know my audience, to really connect with them and understand if there's any questions that they really need, help with. And so I've noticed that when I left them up, that people were only watching like maybe a minute because they got bored, right? A Q&A is great, but you need to also have a structure within your live streams. And I found that it just didn't work the way, like, because when you're in a live stream, you're asking questions, you get to ask your questions. But if the other people are asking and you're watching the replay, you're not actually getting any, like, you're not connect. It's just a different way of not connect. Like, you're not connecting. You don't feel connected, right? And I think that my live streams are just mostly to, to ask you, see if there's any questions that you have, and to get to know you. And also, my live streams right now, I'm working on, slowly upgrading my quality. And I feel like right now the quality between my internet sometimes not doing the greatest. And I don't know how it's even turning out right now, but
it's going good.
I really want to be able to like upgrade the live streaming setup. So I will be potentially doing more in the future, but right now it's just like Q&As just to get to know people. And again, I've actually tested it on my channel, and I saw the overall retention on the videos just not do well because they're Q&As. People aren't able to interact.
Yeah. No, I agree. If it depends on the purpose of your live stream. If it's just Q&A, replay viewers probably not going to care too much because they'll feel left out, right? They're not like, I wasn't there, I'm not asking my question. So yeah, really smart. I know that obviously this live stream is going to stay here because it is like formatted in a certain way. So yeah, really good question. Bill Whipdad, I mean, I see his channel, you go live, and he said 20 to 30% of his views happen on the replay, which is awesome. So cool. Yeah, that's really good. Betty Trevino, Betty, good to see you here. So she's asking, you mentioned that you would start a second channel. That's exciting. What will you do differently? Is that something that you're thinking about and planning?
Actually, funny enough, I announced yesterday on my big news announcement video that I am starting a second channel just for fun.
There you go. Yes.
You all know. Yeah, everybody was so sneaky on my channel, on my lives on Tuesday. They were like, "Oh, are you starting another channel? I found your other channel." I'm like, "What? Oh my goodness." Anyways, so yes, I started a second channel. It's called Simply Catherine. It's mostly just for me to be creative and just do what I want to do outside of my YouTube tips. Obviously, my YouTube tips channel, my small YouTuber growth channel is going to be my main focus because I really enjoy that. But I really needed that second outlet just to let my creative side come out. And yeah, I'm excited about it. It should be fun because I'm obsessed with YouTube. I literally said this in my video yesterday. I could do anything. I could do gaming. I could be in the beauty, even though I'm not, into makeup that much. But I could do anything because I just love YouTube so much. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And this is a testament to that you need to really have a focus channel. So you understand this, so what you guys are seeing is that Catherine realizes, she acknowledges that she can't just talk about anything on her main channel because it won't grow as quickly. So she's going to keep it the way it is. And then she's going to be creative outside of YouTube growth strategies on a second channel. Very different. So yeah, that's really cool. Super exciting. That's awesome. That's so good. Awesome. Okay. We got Neil C here, Neil the Explorer, who is traveling around in the van life around the UK. So good to see you here, man. Small channels are great because we grow, grow, grow. Awesome. Awesome. Here we go. Okay. Let me see here if there's any other questions, guys. Bowling with the Fef, Underdog. Awesome. Okay. Melody has a question here. Some videos that are not getting as much views, is it okay for me to revise the video and repost it and change the title? Will I lose the views I had on that video if I revise it this way? Or should I just leave it and make a new video?
Okay. So I already have an idea. I know exactly what you
Go for it. Go for it. Go for it.
So when it comes to like those videos like that are not getting as much views, I would suggest that you keep it up there because obviously it's given you some views. Your audience has watched it. I would wait. It depends on how long you've posted it. If it's like, only like 2 weeks ago, I wouldn't do another video so soon on it. I would wait at least 1 month-ish, 2 months. Like this is all rough estimates, but this is what I would do in my instance on my channel. I would wait a couple months before I start diving into it again. Because maybe it will do better with my thumbnail and all that jazz. I can change it up, but then I would put more information into it. How can I make it better? I would watch that video and say, how can I make the video better? What are some things that are missing? I, do some research on that specific topic and go and see what you can include in the video itself and maybe improve on. Can you make it longer? That's also going to help if people watch more of it. Can you make the retention, the audience retention a little bit better by editing better, letting your personality come out, all that jazz. So I would definitely keep it up and just do another video and improve on that video topic and what you did within the last video.
Really good advice, guys. These are so good. And you do this on a regular basis on your channel, just dishing out advice and tips and answering questions. Awesome. Okay, I want to respect your time. I asked Catherine for half an hour, you guys, and we are already like 40 minutes into this thing. So
I know, I could go all day.
I know you can. I know you can. I appreciate that. All right, let me take a couple more questions here, and then we are gonna wrap it up. So if you guys have any final questions, please drop them into the chat. I'm just gonna go through here just to make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay. Well, question I think that I saw earlier, I'm trying to find it, is how do you live stream? So your setup. What's your setup when it comes to gear and live streaming?
So basically all I have right now is my webcam on my laptop, and that's how I live stream. And I just do it straight through YouTube to keep it simple, and then make it not that complicated. Like this is that doing the Q&As on Tuesday and Thursdays. I just do them to get to know you, connect. You can ask your questions, and then all my audience connects with each other. They get to know each other, and my community's great. Like they love connecting and chatting with each other. And I know a few are on here today, and they just, it's just great to be able to connect with each other. The live streams are pretty basic. Like I said, webcam and just YouTube streaming, back end, go live, nothing too complicated. My idea is to try and upgrade at least the camera by the end of the year, but I'm working on that process. So
Awesome. There you go. Very simple, and you can move quickly. Before we wrap up, guys, before you guys leave, Catherine, what is this? You've got a challenge. You told me about a challenge that you're doing, that you're running, you're inviting people to. So let people know about that, and I'm going to share the screen as well.
Of course. So I'm doing a challenge starting November 2nd, next month, and it's 30 days. You basically will be working together, motivating each other, and I will announce more on my channel, so you can definitely go check out my channel and be a part of that. But the challenge will be, helping you, motivate you to just get that last little push for the end of the year. The videos are going to be in a Facebook group, solely in a Facebook group right now, next month. But after that, they will be live on my YouTube channel, so anybody can do them at any point. It's all free. It's going to be so exciting. I'm so pumped for it. I just want to motivate and give you guys a little bit more. So, yeah.
Yeah, really excited for that challenge. I think that's going to be helpful to get everybody ramped up and ready for 2021. Always good to be accountable. So I'm just going to check here. Doeb Dad said he had a question, but then he didn't. So thanks, Jeff. Good to see you here. Awesome. Okay, let me just make sure. Okay, one final question. Any tips for Vlogmas? And maybe what is Vlogmas? Because I know a lot of people are starting to talk about this now. So what is Vlogmas for those of you that don't know?
So Vlogmas is basically you're vlogging every day for the month of December. That's Vlogmas, Christmas. It's a play on words. So you vlog every day, right? And so when it comes to Vlogmas, I will say it is very difficult. People will do it and get burnt out very easily. And then, you know, they don't vlog or do film for like a month or something. When it comes to vlogs, I would suggest if you want to be consistent and do Vlogmas, I would at least prep a couple of videos, you know, so 2 videos, there's four weeks in the month of December. So at least have 2 videos prepped and scripted and filmed all ready to go for each week. And then that kind of breaks it up. And then each day, you know, because there's just no way around it. If you're going to vlog and edit every night, you're going to get burnt out. And you've got Christmas to worry about too. So I just would recommend having planned a couple of videos already for each week so that you're not stressing out every night that you need to film and edit a video. And then also going back to making sure that you have prepped for the month. So script out your videos, research the topics that you want to do each day. And then that way each day you're not like stressing out like, oh, I have to think of a vlog to do. What the heck am I going to do? It's more so you have to be prepared because like it's even like for me each week I sit down and I prep my videos, I script them out, I film them, I edit them, and I have a day for that. So if you do this in the month of November, for example, you're already prepped and ready to go, then you're not going to burn out as much. So
smart, so smart. I like that. So prep 2 videos per week already ahead, and then that way you're not actually doing it almost like you're not doing it every day. Because you will burn out, trust me. Like you'll burn out the first 3 days. Like you'll be like,
oh my goodness,
I'm done.
It's hard.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Okay, one last thing. Mr. Last versus Cancer challenge ? Where can they find the challenge again?
Okay.
For now, because I know that
I'll be announcing more next week. But you can go to my YouTube channel and follow me there. There is a video on my channel that you can check out, and it'll give you a little bit of details. So definitely go to my channel and check that out. And I will give you more information as it goes. So it's going to be starting in November, but I will give you more information next week.
Awesome. Yeah, it's that video right there. So it's like the most recent video. Catch that, and then that'll give you some information. And of course, subscribe when you're there. All right. So awesome. Catherine, thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you have any other questions, guys, make sure you connect with Catherine on Instagram and on YouTube. And Catherine, any final words before we part ways today?
I just want to thank you all. This was an awesome live stream, and I got to know so many people and asking all your questions. This was so cool. Thanks, Rob, for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Always good to have another Canadian, and it's very rare to have another Canadian on the show. So yes, thank you so much for hanging out with me, and we'll talk to you all very soon. Take care, everyone.
Bye.